Hey, it's Denise. I was going to wait and do one longer video about Thrive Market, but I thought the two orders that I was expecting were going to arrive at the same time because they said they shipped the same day. And then I thought about it, doing two unboxings and sort of an opinion of my Thrive Market experience thus far after like 4 purchases might be too long a video. So I'm going to just do an unboxing of today's, what arrived today, and then when the next box comes, I will unbox it and sort of sum up my Thrive Market experience. I'll have a little more to go on, and also I'm going to do a little more research comparing prices to where else you could get similar items. Because remember, Thrive Market is not free. It is, you do join, it's a membership, but it is not, if you're thinking it's going to be a membership to low cost items or bulk items like, like a Sam's or a Costco, it's not that kind of deal. In fact, I sometimes think of it as you're paying for the privilege of buying overpriced items. Now, some people are going to say, well, they're not overpriced, they're just higher quality, and that is true. And like I've mentioned before, they've kind of taken the legwork out of trying to track down brands or products that meet your criteria in terms of dietary needs or ethical concerns that are important in your purchasing choices. So they tend to be slightly more expensive products, but if it's important to you where they were sourced, were they sustainably produced, did the people who make them get a living wage, are they non-GMO, are they, do you only want to search by products that are gluten-free, vegan, keto-friendly, etc. Their website is very much geared to people who want the convenience of not having to browse through every product to find something that fits a specific diet or fits a specific requirement in terms of the ethics of their purchases. So I'll go over that more when I talk about like sort of the is it worth it as far as the membership. But here we unbox. This is their cold pack. As you could easily kind of throw this out as just thinking it was like, cushy packaging stuff, although they do put a look inside on the outside of it, because this is their way of sending, in the hot weather, sending things that are temperature sensitive. So I only got a few things. There was actually a free gift offered with this order, and I declined because it was like cans of sardines, and neither me or my son are going to eat cans of sardines. And I don't believe in just stockpiling. I mean, believe me, I believe in stockpiling food you're going to eat, but food that nobody's going to touch. In hindsight, I was like, could I have gotten it and donated it to the food pantry? Yeah, I probably should have done that. I was really just thinking, like, I really don't want to have to find a place for this in my house, so I just opted not to get it. But so I could have gotten like two, little fish-related products that I was not interested in. My next order should come with the free gift was something that I wanted. It was like some sort of healthier snack chips. So we'll see when that comes. Anyway, what was inside the insulated, it had a long since cooled off cold pack in there, but they are room temperature. They're not at all mushy, is the chocolate bars. Now, I did a review of Choco Love chocolate bars, and they are, I was really happy with the quality of the chocolate bars. My major disappointment, which came through loud and clear, was that I did not care for the ruby chocolate, as they call it, because to me it just tastes like white chocolate. But my son loved it, because he does like white chocolate. So when I went back to you know, get my sort of, it's like a build your own 6-pack of chocolate bars from this brand. I went ahead and got 2 of the toffee and almonds, which I didn't even get to show you last time because I had completely snarfed it down before I did the review the next day. Like, and that's not like me because I had weight loss surgery. I have a small stomach. I don't eat that much of something rich like chocolate at a time. But over the course of one evening, I ate like a whole one of these, which should tell you how absolutely yummy it was, because definitely not part of my normal diet. And yeah, I was like, after I ate it, I was like, why did I eat so much chocolate? Not that I was worried about weight gain, because I weigh myself every day. You know, that's just part of my lifestyle since losing the weight. I do weigh myself every day, so second one of those. The dark chocolate, which is filled with salted caramel. I've had one of these, also delicious. This is the ruby chocolate, which I was talking about, which to me just tasted like white chocolate. But my son liked it, so he had said when I was ordering, you know, I told him I was ordering a 6-pack of chocolate bars. He asked me to get him one of these. And then here's a salted almond butter, which I absolutely loved this one too. Really nice taste, not overly salty, because almond butter is already, you know, most of them already have some salt added, so they didn't go crazy with the salt. It's a nice balance of the almond butter, salty, and the sweetness of the chocolate. I would say it's less salty than a salted caramel. And then once again, I went for a nice dark 70% strong dark chocolate, which I like. Now, what makes these something that Thrive Market would carry? Okay, let me just put on the granny glasses and tell you a little bit about this particular brand. It is non-GMO. It is certified. Oh my god, I'm so not able to see even with the glasses. Oh, I think that says, I have no idea what that says. It looks like it says rainforest, and it's got a little frog in the middle. So I'm guessing that's some sort of sustainability, you know, that they're doing this ecologically. Yeah. Okay, it says Rainforest Alliance certified cocoa. That's what it says. So that is definitely a sustainability thing. I like that the expiration or, best buy sort of date is June 2022, and it is September of 20 as I'm filming this. So this chocolate bar has almost 2 years that it's good. It does say on the back, sustainable, social, ethical. So not only is it non-GMO, but it is, I don't know if you've ever watched a documentary on the chocolate industry. It is one of the most unethical industries on the planet. And the big players in the game, like most of the large brand names that you know of, refused to sign the accord that would guarantee farmers a living wage. Now, most industries, once it's brought to the public attention that, hey, you're exploiting people on a big scale, that usually publicly shames people, large corporations, into signing some sort of agreement of living wage for, the people growing or making their product. I found it very interesting that the chocolate industry did not. Most of the big, like I said, most of the big companies did not sign any agreement that they would pay a fair wage or a living wage to their farmers. And as a result, many of the people who actually grow your chocolate are living in absolute poverty, even though they are working their butts off. And like 5 middlemen down the road, and then the big companies are all making a profit. But the people who actually do the hard work of growing and doing the initial preparation of the beans are not being paid a fair wage by most of the larger chocolate companies. So that is why your smaller independent chocolate companies are much more likely to have like a fair trade sort of endorsement on them. Can you tell that I'm someone who likes chocolate? Yes, I've watched 2 documentaries on the subject. It's important. And let's face it, chocolate is a luxury item. As much as I like to consider it part of like the food, pyramid, part of your, 5 a day, definitely a necessity of life. The reality is that it is an indulgence, and if we all said, hey, I'm not going to buy it unless you do it sustainably, these companies would have no choice but to do it sustainably. But unfortunately, they know most people are going to buy chocolate that is, the name brands they're used to, at the prices they're used to, even though those companies are terribly exploiting the people who grow it. And shame on us as consumers for continuing to buy from those companies. Onward. As I previously mentioned, I was waiting on some bay leaves because I had bought a 50-pound box of parboiled rice, and I want to store it in a large food-safe plastic container. I've totally screwed up the lighting, I think, by putting the box here or by leaning forward or by something I've done. Anyway, bay leaves are a natural deterrent to a lot of the insects that would generally like to lay eggs and grow in your stored grains. Isn't that a lovely thought? So I got 2 packages of bay leaves, so now I can go ahead and start packing up that bulk purchased parboiled rice. And that, if you missed my video, I purchased through a restaurant supply company. I got both the containers and the rice at a much better price than you could through a grocery store or through Amazon. And, the only difference is, yes, they did charge shipping, but even taking that into account, it ended up being a much better price. But I was waiting on, I have all sorts of, spices and herbs in the house, but apparently I really don't cook with bay leaves because I didn't have any. So I ordered these, and they are organic and non-GMO, and they are a Thrive Market brand product. They do have plenty of products that are their own brand. So, yeah, I figured 2 of these will last me forever. Then I also, the Thrive Market brand, I got 2 of, I'm not sure why this extra packaging is necessary. It might be because I think you had to buy 2 of them. I don't think, certain things, if they're very inexpensive small items, it's sort of like, it's like add 2 to your cart, not, like the option isn't really there to add 1. I'm guessing that's their way of making sure they make enough on the inexpensive smaller items. So these are organic taco seasoning. And again, they're organic, they're non-GMO, and they're kosher. So if any of those things are important to you, they, they meet those requirements. And it's it's taco seasoning. You know, not much to say about that. Trying to see, yeah, it does not say that it's vegan or vegetarian. And I'm just going to look for what is in it that wouldn't be. Organic brown rice flour, organic spices, organic paprika, organic dehydrated garlic, sea salt, organic dehydrated onion, organic cane sugar, organic ancho chili powder, organic rice concentrate, as a flow agent, organic cayenne. Unless I'm missing something, that sounds vegan. Although I don't see it saying specifically that it's vegan anywhere on the package. Okay, got 2 of those. 2 things left. I got a 4-pack of these sort of individual self-serve, I should say single-serve bone broths, chicken bone broth. I feel like there's a lot of extra plastic bags. It's like anything that has to be counted, like that I got 4 of these. They felt the need to put the 4 of them together in a plastic bag. So kind of for someone who's supposed to be very environmentally conscious, I feel like maybe there's more plastic bag usage going on here than there needs to be. So I went for the unsalted just because I think most broths are so ridiculously oversalted that it's crazy. And once you get your palate accustomed to not putting toxic amounts of salt in your food, you realize just how oversalted we've trained our palates to expect food to be. So what wonderful things can we say about this? No GMO ingredients. It has 9 grams of protein. It's 45 calories, and there's no salt added. Let's see the ingredients. Water, chicken, onions, carrots, celery, spices, cider vinegar, rosemary extract, and it's got little asterisks telling us that everything with the exception of the water is organic. I'm looking for any of those little labels that tell you it's anything special. So it just does have the non-GMO, or they have it as non-GEI, not genetically engineered ingredients, and that it is USDA organic. So I got 4 of these. A lot of times it was just for myself, opening like a standard quart size bouillon or broth container is more than I need, and then it's open and it's not going to last as long in the fridge. So I thought having these individual size ones would be a good idea, because I certainly am probably the one who would mostly use them. And last but not least, I had been looking for echinacea just as a supplement for cold and flu season. And while they did not have like any of the store brand or what my local pharmacy is a Walgreens, they carry probably 3 or 4 different brands of supplements, herbs and vitamin type supplements. And I know they sell just plain echinacea, and I know they sell it cheaper. But what I ended up finding was this. It's called Quick Defense. Let me show it to you. And as you can see, it's it's saying it's an immune support type of thing, you know, something you would want to take during cold and flu season. Echinacea, elderberry, ginger, and I'm going to blow the pronunciation here, andrographis. Excuse me while I sip, my throat is dry and I'm sounding like a frog. That should be better. It's not. Haven't been feeling well for a couple days. Losing your voice mid-video is bad. Bad. So, what wonderful qualities does this particular product have? First of all, I've never heard in my cheap supermarket and or chain pharmacy shopping. Gaia Herbs is not a brand that I'm familiar with. Like I said, echinacea, elderberry, ginger, and that andrographis that I'm sure I'm mispronouncing. It says vegan liquid phytocaps herbal supplement, and there are 40 of them in here. Looking for it to say other wonderful things. Of course, it gives you that, you know, these statements have not been evaluated by the FDA statement that most herbal products do, because they can't say that it's curing or treating anything because it hasn't been tested by the FDA. Let's see. Gaia Herbs delivers unprecedented traceability by screening every product and sharing the results online. See for yourself. Learn more about your herbs by entering the unique ID number below at meetyourherbs.com. It is vegan, gluten-free, and soy-free. And it is a certified B Corporation. If I was more into all of this political stuff, I would probably know what that means. I'm guessing it has something to do with the corporation being in some sort of good standing. Otherwise, they wouldn't be advertising it on the box. The best by date is March of 2023, so plenty of time to use it if for some reason I didn't use it this season, so I like that. And I also think it's pretty cool that if you put the number, you know, like sort of almost like the lot number on you know, down here, that it'll tell you where exactly your herbs were grown, I think is what they're saying. So, was it more expensive than the brands that you could buy at the supermarket or at the pharmacy, local pharmacy? Yes, it was. We will see if it seems to be higher quality, and you know, it is vegan and those other qualities that we discussed, gluten-free, soy-free. So if those are things that are important to you, then you would be happy with it. Okay, then we've just got more packing paper and the cardboard box. So, like I said, small order, not the most exciting, and I did pass on the free gift, which, like I said, in hindsight, I probably should have taken it even though I didn't want it, and I could have donated it to the food pantry. Although, since the whole COVID situation, I have to say, the food pantry doesn't always seem to be, I mean, they weren't always open anyway. They had limited hours when you could, you know, there was actually someone there to receive donations. And they don't really like people leaving stuff just on the floor in the hall. Our food pantry is inside our town building. Same building like where the library and the town clerk are. Upstairs is, off to one side, is a small area that is the food pantry. And I don't think they really like people leaving bags of food outside the door. They'd prefer that you come during the hours that they're open. Even before the COVID situation, there wasn't always someone there during the hours that it said there would be. So honestly, I have gotten kind of bad about making regular donations to the food pantry since the COVID situation, because I just got tired of driving there and either the building wasn't open entirely or there's no one at the food pantry. A couple times, like the first 2 times, I just left my reusable shopping bag, which otherwise I would have given the person the stuff in the bag and kept my large reusable shopping bags. I'm not talking about one of the little ones. I mean, I had in one of those like big gift, gift bag size reusable bags. Twice I ended up just leaving them at the door in those bags. And after that, I did kind of give up on donating. And I know that's, like, I'm embarrassed to admit that, but they are making it really hard to donate at a time when lots of people need the donations. Now I realize I live in a very small town, and for all I know, there aren't any paid employees. Maybe it's only staffed by volunteers, and during now, maybe they're having a hard time getting volunteers. So I don't know why there's often no one there. But it kind of put me off in terms of, like, going out of my way, bagging the stuff up, making a trip, and then there was no one there to receive it. Anyway, enough about that, because maybe in your city or town, your food pantry is doing just fine, in which case you definitely should have gotten the free items, even if they were something you wouldn't have used personally, in your household. So that's what I got from Thrive Market. I am waiting on one more order from them, and at that time I'll talk a little bit more about the cost of the membership, the cost of the items versus what would be comparable items if you didn't necessarily need them to be. All of the things we've covered that Thrive Market items are: non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, vegan, ethically sourced, sustainably sourced, all the different things the Thrive Market tries to provide products that meet those requirements. So, yes, they are more expensive than going to the store and getting a regular known brand of, say, for example, the chicken broth that I got. But if it's important to you that it has those various qualities, then is the price difference worth it to you? And I'll get a little bit more into that on the next video when the next box comes, and we'll talk about it then. And I will research more, again, prices of these exact items to comparable items of the sort of more nationally known or even store brands if I can find them, but they might not meet those specific things that Thrive Market prides themselves on. So that'll give you an idea to decide for yourself if it's worth having a membership to buy more expensive items. And again, I know that can sound like I'm saying it as a very negative thing, but if those specific qualities of the items are important to you, then you may feel it is very much worth paying a membership to shop from somewhere that is supporting the values and finding the products that you specifically want. So I hope you found it informative. I know it wasn't a lot of products, but it gives you some idea, and again, it gives you an idea of the sort of items that you can find on Thrive Market in terms of how you search for them by dietary restriction or preference, by ethical concerns, etc. And we will talk about this more when my next box comes, and again, it's not a huge bunch of stuff, but I did go for the free goodies in the next box, and I also yesterday placed an order from, seedsnow.com. They emailed a coupon code. They were doing a $10 off if you spent $25, and they seem to have restocked. I think maybe people stopped looking because so many seed companies were out of things. So maybe they needed to kind of get the word back out to their customers that they were restocked on a lot of items. So I did order more seeds. If you've watched my seed organizing video, you know I'm waiting, I think, today's Wednesday. I think Friday, my second case that I'm using for organizing my seed collection is supposed to arrive. So I should have the case, then hopefully I'll have the seeds, and we will continue separating them into smaller categories and deciding which categories need a second box within the organizing case. And hopefully then I'll have them not just sitting in a cardboard box. I mean, they're in Ziploc bags to keep them protected from the moisture. But those Ziploc bags were just piled then in a cardboard box and not organized in any way and pretty ugly looking. It's easier to have it be insulted by people like, look at your seed hoard. Whereas if it's organized in pretty cases, I can be like, hoard? What are you talking about? That's my seed collection. Don't you see how carefully organized it is? More of that when I get the next box and the rest of my seeds that I ordered. Anyway, have a great day. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Feel free to share. Check out my other videos. I do unboxings. I do gardening videos. And I do some videos sometimes that are just me talking about various topics, including disabilities, learning to live with disabilities and invisible illnesses, sort of a little education on what it's like for people with disabilities that may not be readily visible to you. So a little bit of support for those of us who are living with them, and also a little bit of education for people who maybe need a little more awareness about the fact that not everyone who is disabled looks the same. There's kind of this stereotype of you have to look a certain way to be disabled, and that's not the case. So check those out, and again, I appreciate you taking the time to watch. I try to always remember to say that because I do truly appreciate it. So like, subscribe, and share. Talk to you soon, and I will review as soon as I get my next Thrive Market order. Have a great day.